Hello children, welcome to DAV Sri Vishnu Vidyaniketan online classes. And today we are going to discuss about microorganisms part 2. In this session, we are going to discuss about diseases, antibiotics, vaccines and scientist contributions, plant pathology and preventions. We already discussed about microorganisms in part 1. In this session, we are going to discuss about harmful effects of microorganisms. Microorganisms are present all around us, but they are too small to see with our naked eyes. They are present everywhere. Microorganisms is also known as microbes. Microorganisms are very small organisms which cannot be seen. Microorganisms they may be unicellular or multicellular organisms. They exist in colonies or alone. Types of microorganisms already we know that bacteria, algae, protozoa and fungus, viruses are the different kinds of microorganisms. They are supposed to be as parasitic, symbiotic or saprophytic in nature. Viruses always go through the parasitic life cycle. They will affect the host cell and they will kill the host cell by occupying all the cell into their control. Let us think about microorganisms, our friends are foe. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Sometimes they may be beneficial or in sometimes they are harmful too. They will cause us dreadful diseases to us. They are helpful to prepare so many food products just like idli, dosha, vada, just like curd, and also they are very useful to preparation of cakes, all bakery items. But commercially we are using that microorganisms in our day-to-day life. They are not only beneficial, they are harmful too. Microorganisms are used in large-scale products of alcohol, medicines, medicinal use of microorganisms. From microorganisms, you are able to produce so many antibiotics. Penicillin is a natural antibiotic which can be prepared by microorganism called fungi. Administration of antibiotics. It's an important role to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of doctors. Also, you must finish the course. Penicillin. 1929, Alexander Fleming was working in culture of disease-causing bacteria. Also killed many these bacteria. From this mode, penicillin was prepared. Let us discuss about vaccines. When a disease-carrying microbes enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. The body also reminds how to fight the microbe if it enters again. So, if dead or weak microbes are introduced in healthy body, the body fights and kills them by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remind the body and we protected from the diseases causing microbes. This is how a vaccine works. Several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, each and everything we have to give the vaccine. Increasing soil fertility. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to reach soil with nitrogen and increases its fertility. These microbes are commonly called bio-geo-nitrogen fixers. Cleaning the environment. All saprophytic microorganisms helps to the environment, decaying the dead particles of plants and animal bodies into small substances, and they will break down the nitrogen substances and return to the soil, and it is known as nitrification. Harmful microorganisms. the organisms which are causing harmful effects to humans and animals and plants, they are known as pathogens. Harmful microorganisms. These are some insects and animals which act as carriers of diseases. Housefly is one of such a carrier. Human diseases: tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox, polio, cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, malaria. All these are microorganisms causing dreadful diseases. In these effects, air, water, and mosquitoes, some other animals and insects are vectors for that. Disease-causing microorganisms. Several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans, in plants also, but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease. Disease-causing microorganisms in plants. Several microorganisms cause disease in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and others. The disease reduces the yield of crop. Citrus canker, rust of wheat, yellow vein, mosaic, antica, citrus, all these are the plant pathological microorganisms which are causing the harmful effects towards plants, and this study is known as plant pathology. Food preservation. Food is spoiled by microorganisms. Spoiled food has bad smell and bad taste and causes food poisoning. Food can be preserved by protecting it from microorganisms. There are chemical methods, and salting, freezing, and preservating techniques are there. Microorganisms can't tolerate high and cold circumstances. Nitrogen cycle. Atmospheric nitrogen. Here, atmospheric nitrogen is taken by the microorganisms from soil, and they will fix nitrogen in the plants which cannot take the environmental nitrogen, just like Fabaceae plants and Leguminaceae too. Nitrogen cycle helps to retain the nitrogen to the plants which they cannot fix nitrogen naturally. So their roots containing some nodules. Harmful effects of microorganisms and human infections by viruses. Let us see some dreadful diseases. Examples. These are bacterial diseases caused in dermatological process. They will lay eggs underneath of our skin and they will spread throughout the skin. This is streptococci, skin infection, red rashes and red pigments, and they will form spiracles underneath of eyes, and it is also cause throat infections. It is a very dreadful disease and so much painful. Common cold and cough is usual in influenza, which cough and cold are common symptoms. These are also some viral infections, and you can see they are laying eggs and they will spread throughout the skin from one place to another place. Hepatitis. Hepatitis is caused by the viruses, and they will increase the bilirubin percentage in body, and it will cause yellowing of the body and eyes too. Humans react to viral infections. This is conjunctivitis, which is commonly seen in children, and it will transmit it to one person to another person. Genital tract sexual contacts, just like HIV. These are sexual transmitted diseases through viruses. Chickenpox also a viral disease. It is a DNA virus, most common in winter and spring seasons. It will cause red blisters on the body. The red spots will release some serums, and The contact of this serum will communicable this disease to one place to another place of same body, otherwise one person to another person. It is a purely communicable disease. It will spread through air, water and food, and also with close contact. We have to go through the vaccination of chickenpox, smallpox, mumps and measles. Once we take the vaccines of these diseases and another time, it is not possible to get again and again in our body. Our body will make resistance to fight with it enough. Streptococcal will damage our bone system, skin, heart muscles, respiratory system, toxic sac syndromes and food poisoning at a time. They are most harmful microorganisms. Let us see the contribution of scientist Robert Koch, born in December 1843. He is from Germany. He discovered bacteriology and isolation of anthrax, tuberculosis and cholera. Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he is father of bacteriology. He discovers a microscope. Louis Pasteur, he is a great scientist who discovered the pasteurization and vaccination, microbial fermentation. Antibiotics kills the microorganisms and foreign particles, but vaccines, they will prevent the microorganisms and they won't allow again and again to the body. Antibiotics give the partial relief and vaccines will fight with the dreadful disease. Once we take the vaccines, it will fight with that microorganisms throughout of our life. Thank you, children. That's all for today, and we will meet with a new topic in our next session. Bye.